Welcome back to the final round of IVL. We're here with Andrew from NUS and Wayne from SP. Now, first off, how were your individual performances today? Shall we start with Andrew?
Yeah, okay. Hi. So today NUS was up against SUTD. As usual, we expected a very intense battle. So it was a kind of a flip of the team dynamics where the first two boards were, at least for NUS, we fielded our more stronger players, and then SUTD fielded their stronger players on the last two boards. So for myself on board 2, I was trying to press for a win, and it was quite equal until my opponent unfortunately blundered a tactic. And after that, I was able to convert from there. So that was my own game. Yeah.
For me, I would say today's game was close at one point, but then I made a series of blunders that in like the opening and middle game stage, which I paid for in the end game, and I tried to weasel out a draw or a stalemate, but unfortunately couldn't, so I lost today's game.
All right. Very good answers. Very comprehensive as well. Now, you mentioned about your own lineup against SUTD today. What do you feel about I'm not sure if you noticed, but what do you feel about the other lineups and how that affected your chances, NUS's chances at the top?
So you mean in terms of how the rosters were made, is it?
Yeah, correct.
Yeah, so I think, of course, I would say SUTD, they were quite ingenious with how they fielded their lineup because that allowed them to shuffle the players up and down a bit more easily according to their tactical needs. Unfortunately, I think today we saw the limits of that tactic because if you're only able to try and get 2 points, you can't really win the match overall. But there is merit to that kind of idea. I feel maybe on a different day, if the players were in a different order, the result might have been different. But I think we'll never know. Yeah.
Very good point raised there. The difference between a loss, a draw, and a win is so crucial. And I think for SP and TP, you'll experience that even more on an even more intense level. How do you feel about a winner takes all kind of situation today?
Well, it was definitely stressful because after round 4, we looked at the results, and with SP and TP, the result was gonna be that if either of us won, we win the best polite award, and if we drew, the award would have gone to either NYP or Neon. And how I feel about it is that I would say that it was, I think, the right amount of drama we needed for the final round because it was a very intense lineup. Winner takes all, and no possible draw. And if SP were to be in a situation like that with any other club, we would want it to be TP so that we're guaranteed to win the final lineup anyways.
Right. Okay. Bold statements and bolder win. Congratulations to SP for winning on the poly side and for NUS for getting second. Now, how do you feel about the IVL experience overall?
I think for the first edition, it's definitely been a very eye-opening experience, and I think I speak for most of my players when I say that it's been a lot of fun because team tournaments always have that sort of charm that individual tournaments don't have. We see actually the strongest players are not actually guaranteed to win. If you follow stories at the Olympiad, for example, how Uzbekistan won, and I feel like maybe we not really have seen it this time round, but there's certainly the potential for these kinds of fairy tale storylines, which doesn't normally happen in an individual tournament. So I think that element actually was quite unique to the scene in that sense, and I hope that there are more seasons for the IVL to come. Yeah.
Speaking of more seasons and speaking of the joy of team tournaments, do you agree with what Andrew said? And what are you looking forward to the next season since you'll be back?
Definitely. So I would say again, what Andrew said is very true. Team tournaments have this element of surprise and drama and sort of intensity, right? That you don't really feel in individual tournaments. And I think generally team tournaments are more interesting. And chess is a very isolated individual sport, and team tournaments kind of add that the necessary level of teamwork and closeness between different players. Personally, how I will feel about the IVL is that it's very well run, and the way they handle the lineups and everything was very interesting. And I think for next season, what SP is definitely going to do differently is that because with this season, we kind of just anyhow put our players in, and we didn't really realize the repercussions of how we decided all 8-player lineup way before the first round. We didn't really realize the repercussions until around round 3, but thankfully things worked out for us and we were able to eke out a win for Best Polite. And for me personally, I'm graduating, so I won't be participating in the next IVL. But for SP, we do look forward to winning Best Polite again.
Final question for both of them. Andrew, any words for your own team, NUS, as well as your opponents?
I mean, considering that the players that we fielded this time and the players that were not playing, so y'all better watch out for the next season. Yeah.
All right. Thank you, Andrew. Now, Wayne, any words for your own team and as well as your opponents?
Actually, before I answer my question, right, I wanted to know, Andrew, do you have any special message for SMU, who actually broke NUS's streak of winning first place in a lot of
Oh.
tournaments? So,
I think, to be honest, they kind of limped across the finishing line in the last 2 rounds. So it'll be very interesting to see what happens next season. So we look forward to avenging that. Yeah.
do you feel like they limped across because of a presence of some absence of some players?
I think our players always give their best. So I'm not going to fault them in any way. But
Absence of SMU players.
absence of SMU players. I feel that definitely the depth of the bench will eventually show in the team tournament. Yeah.
Yeah, so for my fellow SB boys, shout out to Robert, who managed to eke out a win, a final nail-biter win that solidified us becoming best polite. Shout out to Sean, who went undefeated throughout the entire IVL season, even against NUS. And shout out to the rest of my SB boys and girls for playing in the IVL, regardless of win or loss. I'm proud of all of you. And to my other SB guys who won in this tournament, I hope you guys remember to fill out the form and join IVL next season. And a message to my opponents would be that, linking back to what Bruno here said in the round 3 interview of,
Monumental to see who's really the best on the Clementi Street, yeah. So, yeah. Yeah, pretty exciting.
I see someone's coming from for territory.
Maybe.
I think we got an answer here. So, Bruno, would you like to say who the best poly is?
Well, sometimes we gotta give chance, and I'm glad that you took the chance we gave today.
Don't worry, I'm also glad that you took the chance we gave y'all too by not playing y'all. But yeah, shout out to NYP. You guys won us, but it's okay. Who's got the trophy? Shout out to TP. Thanks for the points. Shout out to IT College West. Bunpin, I hope to see you higher on the ranking list. And shout out to the rest of the unis who we didn't play, but it's okay. We're gonna get y'all next season, and we look forward to taking back the trophy next season as well.
We're lucky they didn't play you all.
Yeah.
Thank you, Wayne. Thank you, Andrew. Thanks for watching, and that's all for this season of IVL, and see you guys next season. On a personal note and a shift away from IVL, just chess in general for our audience out there, a lot of them who are beginners or intermediate players, any advice for them starting out the game or how to improve?
I think the most important thing that actually applies to basically every single player is don't be afraid to make mistakes, because that's the only way that you learn from it. So just try to treat the game as something fun, and then hopefully you learn along the way. Yeah, so it's the kind of thing, you only can learn how to run if you start like tripping and falling and things like that. Bumps are going to happen, so it's about just not letting yourself get beat down by those mistakes. Yeah.
Well said, well said. I couldn't have said it any better. Now, Wayne, anything else to add?
One advice I will give to new players would be to either join a club or persuade your friends to start playing chess as well, or to be involved in the chess community and play chess against other players, because I think competition inspires improvement. So when you play against your friends, it inspires this friendly rivalry and friendly competition that will motivate you to keep working at it and improve. And things I would say are better with your friends and just by yourself, because chess can be a very isolated sport, and having good friends and good fellow chess players along the way will definitely motivate you much better than if you were to pursue it by yourself.
All right. That's some great advice as well. That's some great advice. Now, Andrew, any last words for your team? Yeah, NUS. Yeah.
I think the NUS team can be very proud of its performances, especially considering the strength of the other universities and polytechnics here. I think you never take a single match for granted. So I think the fact that we got second, I think is a very strong result already. And I hope that everyone in the team, because we have a mix of, like for me, I'm a graduating student, and there are some year ones in the team. So I hope that especially the year ones, they continue to play on in further seasons and play more inter-varsity tournaments.
All right, and that's from your graduating captain. Now, Wayne, any words for your opponents?
Get good.
Get the!
Special message to the TP team. Nice try. Special message to NYP and Neon. all the best. And you know what? Special message to all other teams. Try and take the trophy from us next year.
And try we will. Thank you for watching this interview, and we'll see you next year.